Mm. All right. Hello. Thank you for meeting with me today. I'm Collier and I'm the hiring manager at this company. We're looking for full-time worker who is hardworking and driven. I'm looking forward to getting to know more about you during this interview. First, I'm going to ask you a bit about yourself, and then we will dive into questions about your strengths and weaknesses. The purpose of these questions is so I can learn about you as a person and analyze how your characteristics fit into a role at this company. We will be done in about 20 to 30 minutes, so don't be nervous. Just be yourself and you'll do great. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, first, tell me a bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a junior in mechanical engineering here at LSU. I spent my first 2 years of college playing college baseball at a junior college, and then after that was done, I decided not to pursue any 4-year baseball opportunities, and decided to become just a full-time student, and that's what led me to LSU.
Okay. Where do you see yourself in 5 years from now?
5 years from now, I hope that I expect to have found where I want to work, specifically as far as industry and section within the industry. The reason I say that is because, I want to be able to explore different opportunities and try different things to find out what I really want to do for the rest of my life. And by that point, I want to be kind of settled into that and then um, be on my way to trying to develop my career.
Okay. So what are you looking for in your career?
So in my career, I'm looking for ultimately a sense of purpose, whether that come from either passion or doing work that I feel like is important. Because I feel like in my personal experience, having a purpose behind what you're doing leads to more motivation and ultimately better work, which I think will not only be good for my impact on other people's lives, but also good for returns for me.
Okay. And what do you consider to be your strongest and weakest skills?
So I say my strongest skills would be first of all leadership and especially in a team environment because of my college baseball experience where we have everybody is working towards a common goal, and then um there's a lot of communication involved with that, and I think also discipline too, because I feel like with the amount of things that I've had on my plate in my college career to maintain the grades that I had and also maintaining, social life and doing things that I enjoy, I think that requires a lot of discipline. So that's something I've done. Um, as far as weaknesses go, I think that sometimes a little bit of what some people call perfectionism or maybe just overthinking and being anxious about certain things like tests, projects, you know whenever meeting with people about my career, because I tend to overthink sometimes, but I also see this somewhat as a positive because I feel like very often when I do overthink and I am anxious, I find myself preparing more and working harder before these opportunities to eliminate any doubt that I may have.
Okay. And tell me about a time that you saw success as a leader.
So in my senior year of high school, I was appointed by the team to be the captain of the team for this season. And we had a team that was less talented than years that we'd had before. And so I did a lot of, pushing the rest of the team to show up to practice early and stay at practice late and get extra reps and, work on the things that they each individually need to get better at. And I think that helped make the team a lot better. And we had just as much success in that season as we'd seen in previous seasons. So,
Okay. And then what strategies do you use to help manage your time?
so to manage my time, I schedule all of my weeks like at the beginning of the week. On Sunday, I schedule, my week, and I schedule by priority. Like, for example, my top priority is always my classes. So that exactly the times I have class is in my schedule for the week on, times like in the actual time slots, like in Google Calendar. And then it goes from there to my work, my part-time job, and then from there to, studying. And after that, it's going to the gym. And then after that, I give myself a little bit of wiggle room for things that I enjoy and some of my personal hobbies and stuff.
Okay, and then can you describe a time when you had to communicate a thought or idea to a group of people?
Yeah, so this past semester we had a group project in one of my engineering classes that spanned over a couple months, and the the project was an open-ended request from a customer, aka just our professors, to design an apparatus that did, XYZ, and we had to basically break down how to interpret it. So basically what I did was I developed a system of identifying all the things that we may feel like may make a good product. And then we did several comparison strategies um, to identify what were the most important things that we needed and how we could measure these things. And then I um, basically wrote out a plan for our group to design and then test these things so to make decisions on what our final design was going to look like.
Okay. And then what do you do to stay organized when tasks start to pile up?
So when tasks start to pile up, I go back to like kind of the same thing with my scheduling. It's what are my priorities and what are the most important things. And especially when it comes to like, tests and stuff, like versus say in a class you have, your homework assignments and then you have quizzes, but then you have tests and your projects. And those things are typically going to have more weight in your grade in a certain class than others. So I give more attention to those things. And then I also spend times like on the weekend, early, I get up and I'll go take care of, schoolwork before I do any like weekend activities so that I can have more breathing room during the week.
Okay. And can you describe a time when you had to solve a complex problem?
So yes, I can. In my senior year of high school, we had I was in a class called Principles of Engineering, and basically what we did was we had a team of students that were designing a rocket that had the goal of breaking the speed of sound. And I was tasked with figuring out how to account for what's called fin flutter in the rocket, which is basically like the faster you go on a rocket, your fins start to do this right here, like just oscillate, right? And as you increase speed, the oscillations also increase speed, which can cause them to snap eventually if the speed is too high and the oscillations are too strong. So basically that came down to how we designed the fins. And so I found an equation that was derived from an MIT professor and used that to the variables in the equation had to do with the dimensions and the material properties of the fin, and use that to optimize how we designed the fins. And our fins were perfectly functional and had no issues with, the fin flutter breaking or anything like that.
Okay. And can you tell me about a time when you had to collaborate with a team on a specific project?
Yeah. So, um, 2 semesters ago, I had a team that we had a group of 6 in our class that had to, model a piece of machinery with 3D design software, and then also write a report on the functionality and the purpose of each piece of the machine. And so how we went about that is we developed what's called a Gantt chart, where we scheduled each phase of the project and assigned um each person their roles so that we could keep each other accountable and keep ourselves accountable with staying on pace, and also being able to get things done early enough to where if we did something and afterwards we didn't like how we did it, or we think we could have done a better job on a specific piece, we could go back to it and revise and make it better, improve.
Okay, and then for my final question, how do you feel?
I feel really good. I feel like I have um sufficiently answered the questions that have been asked today um and articulated who I am as an applicant and what I bring to the table. And I feel like I'm a good match for this role. And I think with my answers and with the resume that the people who ultimately make the decision to whether to extend an offer will agree with me on that. So I feel good.
That's great to hear. As we discussed, this is a full-time position that requires leadership, skills, time management, organization, problem solving, and teamwork. From your answers, I could tell that you have good experience in all of these aspects. Are you ready? And you are ready to tackle any obstacles that you may face. Is my analysis correct?
Yes, I think your analysis is correct. I wholeheartedly agree with everything you said.
Okay, and then do you have any questions for me?
No, I don't have any questions for you.
Okay, sounds good. We will give you a call next week to either give you an offer or let you know that we have moved on with another candidate. Thank you for your time and have a great day.
Thank you so much, Mr. Collier.
Have a good one.